All right, hello and welcome. Today we've got a very exciting interview with Dr. Jeff Drake, a veteran chiropractor from Wichita, Kansas, who's going to weigh in on some of the important health topics that today's American families are facing. So first off, Doc, first of all, thank you for being with us. We are grateful to have your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we've got a couple questions here that families are facing more today than ever. And the one I want to start with is technology. As we all know, technology has advanced leaps and bounds over the last decade. And now it's not, whether, adults have cell phones or not. It's how young do kids get their cell phones at. There's iPads, there's Wi-Fi everywhere we go. So there's all kinds of radiation and energy going through the air. So what would you say that technology is doing to the health of Americans?
Well, as far as the radiation and that kind of thing, I don't really have probably a very good answer, but I think from a family standpoint, from a social standpoint, all the electronics and technology and gadgetry is really taken away from our families and from time being spent together, more quality time, and I hate to see that. And I've got young kids myself, and the peer pressure that's put on them from other kids and other families that in fifth grade and even lower having cell phones, and I just hate to see that. I like to see kids be kids and kids be kids as long as they can be kids. So I guess I'm more kid oriented as far as that technology goes.
Sure. And now, text messaging and posture as a chiropractor, what would you say? They're spending so much time on these devices. Their heads down. What is this going to do to their long term health?
Well, I think it'll have an effect on their posture by all means. Again, I've got kids at home, and my gosh, they're on the couch for periods of time, on YouTube and talking to kids and texting and this and that, or they're laying on their stomach and they're in odd positions, and I think they can develop problems. Years ago there was a condition. I've been in practice for 30 years, and I can remember years ago there was a condition that was coined Nintendo neck, and that had to do with obviously kids in front of gaming, playing for hours and hours and hours. And I think the same thing is happening now with the technology. It just is ongoing.
Sure. All right. And then the second biggest thing that I think that American families need to really start looking into that you hear about on the news is genetically modified foods. So, we've used technology. Now we've started to modify, what we eat. What do you think are the dangers of these types of foods, and, what should American families know about them?
Well, I don't think we know enough. I think it's horrible. I think the United States, our country, as time goes on, we get more and more unhealthy. And I think one of the primary culprits of that is our diet. And genetically altered foods is just a part of that. So that's just one more additional thing added to the all the other aspects of our diet. Our diet in this country is not good. It's not getting any better. And by the addition of this, I think it's getting worse. I think it has a horrible effect on us. I mean, we've got issues with obesity in this country, big time, and that correlates into different health problems, increased diabetes. The list goes on, and this just adds to it. It certainly doesn't help by any means.
Absolutely. So with technology and genetically modified foods, what would your recommendations be? What should new parents, be telling their kids and teaching their kids to do to, counteract these things that could obviously harm their children's growth?
It's up to the parents. That's number one, and they've got to limit those things, and they have to monitor their kids. It's awfully easy, technology-wise, to hand your kid an iPad or a iPhone or whatever it may be, and it's pretty self-entertaining, but that's the easy way out, in my opinion. I think you've got to monitor your kids. You've got to limit them on those various things. Keep an eye out for them. That's the parent's duty, if you will.
Absolutely. And as far as you mentioned a little bit before, Nintendo neck and various things, obesity, things getting worse. I mean, what does America's health look like? You've been in practice for 3 decades. I mean, what's happening to just the baseline health of Americans over the last couple of decades?
Bottom line, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. I mean, it just is. And if you take a close look, I think if you use obesity as a marker, which I think is a pretty good marker, if you will. I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And as time has gone on, now you see more of how it's our kids that are that is an issue with obesity. Again, it just keeps getting worse. I mean, we really need to be more diligent on our health or with our health, and it is our responsibility. Our health is our own responsibility, and a lot of it has to do with our diet. Of course, everyone knows that; it's no secret. It's very, very easy to eat wrong, and it's a little bit more challenging to eat right.
Absolutely. All right. Excellent. Well, American families are, facing things today that they didn't face years ago with technology and modified foods. And, obviously, I would agree that, the health is not improving and, we need to do a better job. So I thank you for your time and, weighing in on these issues. We'll get this out and hopefully people can take this information and use it to improve their lives and the lives of their children, and we can reverse the health trend that we are unfortunately seeing in America today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.